Right, so we're on our way to Istanbul. Hopefully you can roughly, is that as small as that'll go? Okay, that's not going any smaller, but you can see there's the aircraft here. We're on the arrival route now to Istanbul's new airport. Currently flying through some pretty nice stormy clouds. We're at 10,000 feet now, so we're going to hold off level, reset the QNH. And after FM 834, that's when we start the rest of the descent. This is kind of like a long base leg for obviously sequencing reasons. Just put the landing lights on now. Here we go, flying through some quite wild actual clouds. It's a very nice cloudscape at the moment. So it's like a landscape of its own. It's pretty cool. Right, so let's close off this window here. There we go, so we can see out the window properly. I mean, it will be a bit dull for the first bit. Not much is going to happen. We're just coming in over the Sea of Marmara. I think it's called Marmara Sea. Come on, Google, give me the name. No, not Lightroom. Maps, Google. Zoom out. Sea of Marmara. There we go. So go now, turning onto that base leg now. So this is now base leg 10. So we should probably start a slow descent down to 4,000 feet. That's the arrival altitude. So we've got 6,000 to go. So that's 20 miles roughly. So probably there. So actually we can do it a bit slower. Let's check the. So if I sync that and I ask for 4,000. Let's sync this here, that's 27 miles, which gets us to about there, so that's fine. 29. Yeah, 31 miles is also okay, that's just going to be there. So we're going to be on track, basically. We're just descending very slowly, 1.7, so we continue our descent the whole way down. I'm going to put the anti-ice on now because it is potentially icy. We've got an outside air temperature of 1 and centre is -9. So just going through these clouds here. Watch brake low for the arrival. It's a very long runway, 4,410 metres, and the airport is humongous. There are 6 runways, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 5. I think 5. There's 3-4 right and left, 3-5 right and left, and 3-6, and all the reciprocals of those as well. Okay, so the sea is just ahead, kind of leaving land now, so you can see ahead of us. That's going to be a relatively strong crosswind actually, so hopefully will be a bit of an exciting landing. The predicted winds, well, the actual winds at LTFM, 040 degrees at 13 knots. 34 left is 040 at 14, 020 at 16, so roughly that kind of direction and speed. So we'll be using that as a nice 13 knot direct crosswind, so this could be quite a good crabbed up approach. Okay, let's just quickly pop up the window there. There we go. So we've got a bit more time, so we're basically coming across here. Here we turn left, and then we're going to go 35 right, which is just this one here. 35 right, that'll be our landing runway. Plan is probably using first or second high exit taxiway, and then taxiing back down to the main terminal here. Flying with Swissair, so kind of expected that we'd be taking a nice gate. There we go. Passenger views looking wonderful today. Very atmospheric. Probably would be better if I turn this silly window off. There we go. That's better. So yeah, we're on our way down to 4,000 now. Coming through the clouds, in and out. So 6,000 now. Let's engage the landing system. So you can see the glide path there. Still too high, but that's fine. We've got another 15 miles of base leg to fix the too high problem. Slight left turn now. The storm clouds are looking wonderful. Let's just quickly check how far we've got to go. This is saying 10 miles. That'll be about there. So that's good. We're going to be at 4,000 in time. There we go, that's fixed itself now, so I'm just actually going to slow down the descent even more. Really getting to be moving so quickly. I'm trying to just use as little power as possible, because that's good. When you slow down the descent rate, the engines obviously have to spool up a bit to maintain airspeed. So that can be fixed if we approach mode now. Using a very low descent rate, so that should also lose our speed quite quickly. And we can use that as well to kind of increase the efficiency of the approach, basically converting kinetic energy. Yeah, the glide path is just slightly encroaching on the diamonds there, so quite a good descent rate we've chosen for ourselves. The speeds here are all fine. That's in my head. On the base leg now, so I'm going to do flaps 1, get the slats out. Anti-ice doing a fair job now. On the left, the city of Istanbul is just slowly coming in. We're not going to see much of it though, because this is very much on the outskirts. But these clouds are pretty amazing. So this is the strait here that leads to the Black Sea. Coming in now to Gapti, following that up with Frugo, and then the runway. Istanbul traffic, Swiss 25, India, inbound Gapti, ILS 35, right. Good as people told. So 180 knots, roughly, 185, 187, something like that. Normal speeds. Let's check the altimeter staying the same. Good, it is. It's got 15 miles to go from this point, so really no rush to take the localizer. The city is ahead. We're going to now turn right away from it. So you can see it there. Is that photogrammetry? It might well be. Looks a bit photogrammetric. But at the same time not really. It looks like the red roofs are just part of the photo scenery. Okay, levelling off now. We're going to start our left turn very shortly. Terrain still doesn't work. We're not to engage localizer until inbound Frugo, and then we can arm the ILS descent below. So it's a bit of a quick changeover. We let the RNAV do the whole thing pretty much. Got some skyscrapers there. Another bit of ocean here, so this is the which is not an ocean. So this is the old airport, which is on the right actually. I'm not sure if you can actually see it there. Yeah, somewhere in the cloud is the old Atatürk airport. Oh, there it is, there's the Atatürk airport. So that would make a good alternate, but we're now turning left. I'm going to arm localizer now. And hopefully that will come in quite quickly as we turn on to final. There you go, here it comes, there's the localizer inbound. Okay, now flaps. Got 13 miles to go, so I'm going to do 160 to 4 roughly. Flaps 2, for speed 160. We've got the speed breakers armed, all of that's set up properly. Probably use 1200 as a better score code. Okay, approach mode now armed, and we're going to use the ILS Cat 2. It is a Cat 2 approach, not category 3, but that's what it said in the thing for some reason. Okay, so we just wait now for the glide path to come, which is going to be in about 0.01 seconds. Okay, maybe a bit more than that. 5 seconds, I guess. There you go, glide path, 10 miles to go. Good, right, switch over to flight director, and obviously we've got a bit of a visibility issue at the moment. It is 8 kilometers at the moment at the airport, and the METAR data, something like showering rain, scattered at 1,000, broken at 2,500, so not really going to expect to see much until 1,000 of ground level. So we'll just fly the approach down at 160, flaps 2 seems perfectly fine, and pop the gear down at 7 miles. Put some more layers of flaps in towards the end of that. Wind is 12 knots coming from pretty much straight ahead actually, so nearly from the right. Slightly from the right, but not too bad.
2,500.
Yes, GPWS is now active. Actually, let's do a flaps free landing. Those were fun. Landing flap free, performance, free. There we go. So let's change nothing right now. And I'm going to engage 160. Gears coming down because we're 7 miles out. Here's the rain, you can see that there on the windows. I'm going to engage flaps free now so you can see the last layer of flaps coming in. That's it. Normally it would be a bit more, but we don't need that bit more, so that's fine. I'm going to use the normal speed so the plane should start to pitch up slightly. Now you can just about see the ground out the window, but that doesn't say much for the runway. We can just about see the beginning of the leading lights there. Just trying to get the last bits of stability here. So there comes 140, and the cabin needs to come in, so cabin check. Landing flap free is on, so we don't get any GPWS warnings. Just gives us a higher approach speed. It's better for sequencing, especially at busy airports with lots of heavy aircraft. It means everyone's flying roughly the same speed as approach. And I, for some reason, find it does give slightly smoother landings. Is that nearly snow coming out there? Oh, fantastic. So, all for the scenery tour, you're not actually going to see much of it. Okay, some nice hills. This is the runway, so you can see there's one on the left there. We've got two here on the right. One of them's mine for landing and the other one's for takeoff, which is why it hasn't got any leading lights on.
1,000.
1,000. A bit blustery. Looking good though. Okay, Pappies are in sight. So Switch to manual flight. Going to aim the plane roughly at the Pappies. Istanbul traffic, Swiss 25 Lima, short final runway 35 right. 25 India, but oh well. So the scenery is fantastic. You can see the Lufthansa Technik have already got their little. They seem to do that everywhere in the world, actually. Little shed everywhere. Just slightly adjusting.
400. 300.
Oh, it's descending way too quickly. Is that wind shear?
300.
There's no wind shear. Bit bumpy.
300. 100 above.
It's quite bumpy. As the wind just shifted all the way to the right now.
Minimum.
Continue.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5.
Touchdown. The reverses decel. I said first high-speed exit, so that's going to be this one here. You can see the green lights leading off to the right and ahead. There's no point engaging the windscreen wipers, even though they would make a nice touch, because they do absolutely nothing. As you can see here, they don't even move the water, they just wave annoyingly across the screen. What a lovely bit of weather here. That's useless. Off. Let's go find a stand. So I'm going to taxi to the big terminal, which is straight ahead and on the right. There's another terminal on the other side of the runways, but we vacated to the wrong direction for that one. So I'm going to take somewhere at the major terminal. We're going to have a look at the scenery as well while we're at it. Some nice buildings on the right. This is actually on the level of the Gatwick scenery, potentially even better. Very, very nicely done. Maybe the ground does need a little bit of a texture update, but that's okay. Not much to be seen. Terrain's interesting for sure. Take one of these stands up on the left here. Let's go for B12 right. We don't need right, we'll just take B12. Actually no, we'll take right, then you can fit 2 aircraft in here actually. There we go. I wonder if the jetway will even come out to us. It'd be interesting to see. Right, the landing lights are off anyway, right, good. There we go, right. Parking brake set. Let's get jetway connected. At least see if it works. Too far away. Oh well. There you go, power catering baggage. But jetway doesn't want to come out here. That's fine. Oh well. In reality that would absolutely come out there, no problem. Landing right was 71 feet per minute, which is nice and smooth. The trick there was 30 feet cut throttle, and then eyes to the end of the runway and just hold it off. And usually it should just glide down quite nicely. 71 feet per minute. And I've realised something from the landing at Colby. That was a very hard landing, but that's also because the runway is 2% sloped down. So the runway itself already has like a minus 200 feet per minute descent rate if you're just flying down it normally. So you need the extra descent rate to even touch down there. If you try and touch down with 70, for example, it won't happen.